Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Ricardo.
Good day. How are you?
Good. Very good here in Argentina. This is Milu Williams. I'm Success Manager of Purpusly, and I'm really glad to be here in one more webinar for interviewing Ricardo, our founder, Purpusly founder, and a great example of an entrepreneur, a purpose-driven entrepreneur. And I'm glad to see some other entrepreneurs or creators, as Ricardo wants to like to tell them. So if you're ready, we're gonna start. Excuse my English if it's not perfect. I'm not native in English. So we are ready, yes?
Awesome. Let's
Great.
do it.
Well, first I would like you to introduce yourself for the people that doesn't know you.
Sure. So my name is Ricardo Berris. Most people call me Ricardo or just Ricardo sometimes. I have been an entrepreneur for pretty much 20 years now. It's all I know. I've never really worked in the corporate. I've never worked in corporate before. So ever since I was a teenager, just always kind of wanted to do my own businesses. And so I got the chance to do that when I was 20 years old, and I've never looked back since. And we're probably on our 8th or 9th company now since my entrepreneurial journey. And so I'm a Caribbean-born, guy, if you want to call it that. I was born in Jamaica, in Kingston, Jamaica. So shout out to all of my folks who are from the islands. Father is also from Cuba, so I have a little Afro sort of Cuban connection. I've lived in South America. Now living in North America. I've traveled several parts of the world. I've seen a lot as an entrepreneur. Today I run Purpusly and a couple other businesses that I invested in as an entrepreneur. So I'm excited to talk to you about anything today, just so that you can understand more of me and my story.
Okay, great. Before going to Purposely and this actual experience that brought us together, I would like to know a little bit more about this entrepreneurial soul that you have, and it started a long time ago. And I think it's not just entrepreneurship that runs in your body, but also purpose-driven. So what can you tell us about being a purpose-driven entrepreneur? And when is the first time that you remember like working or feeling this purpose-driven thing?
Yeah, that's a great question. So as far as I can remember, which is just before I became 20, I had always sort of wanted to do things to help others. I'm always in that sort of position to wanting to help. I come from a very large family. So, we're talking about maybe over 100 people that is scattered across different spaces around the world. And so there's always a lot of people around, and just kind of wanting to be involved and get involved is a part of my DNA. My first project when I was in high school sort of led me to think that this is something that I could potentially do, where we sold ice cream as a business project, and my team won. And I realized that, wow, this is actually a way to actually help to share what I know and how I can help people in the same vein. And so we had a huge problem growing up when I was around 20, and that was, my brother, along with several other kids, had some struggled with math, as an example. And during high school, I was called a math god. So people used to pay me to do their math assignment. They used to pay me to do math projects, and so I always sort of was very good at math at the time. Not so good now, but my brother was not necessarily blessed with the same kind of skill, and so he will always be the one to kind of like puke and throw up over a math assignment. And it was time for him to get into college or to matriculate into higher education, and that was a big hurdle. So I created my first tutoring boutique at that time to help not just him, because I realized that there were hundreds of other boys that was just turning an adult who did not have the foundation around mathematics and some of the other basic subject matters. And so I wanted to help, and I created a boutique tutoring company at the time to help them. And we helped hundreds of kids transform their lives from just having this hurdle, this struggle, to now, today my brother's married and he's happily married and he's got his own business, and hundreds of other kids that we'd helped at the time. We ended up expanding to 3 locations of this tutoring business, and we were just teaching and helping kids to become better versions of themselves. And I realized that fast forward into today, every single day is about transformation for me, and every single day is about how can I help someone to become a better version of themselves. And so we all have a mission for our own lives, for our lives of our family, and we all want to be something and do something. And so I wanted to play a role in helping as many people as I possibly can to do that, and to lower any kind of barriers that they may have. And that's kind of really how this idea of being purposeful or being purpose driven was born. Transformation is a purpose. Transformation plays a huge role in impacting our world. And my world, given where I'm from and the folks I surrounded myself with, transformation really helped to make a difference in their lives. And so they're able to pay it forward and live freely and live limitlessly, if you may. And I think that's really where at the art of purpose, it's really that ability to have an impact, to make a difference, because we only have a short time. We always say life is short. And so why not use the time that you have to help somebody else to have their own life as well, and to live limitlessly, live happily. And it's not about how much money you have. It's not about how many homes or material stuff. It's not about that. Impact is about making a difference at any size and anywhere possibly, just helping people to get a hand up, just not a handout, but helping them to also achieve what they desire for themselves and their family.
Wow, that is really powerful. I try to remember some so powerful words and quotes you've just said, anticipating my next question that was going to be like, what is purpose for you? What does it mean? You talk about transformation, you talk about helping others, changing the life of others, or helping in that way. Also, you spoke about community, starting from your family, like your first community. And also the thing that I really like is to complement with the ones that you have around you, right? So we talk about that first purpose-driven ice cream, purpose-driven tutorials. What is now going on in Ricardo's life? How is purpose present in your life right now, in this present?
Well, and sure. And so today I run businesses, right? I'm still an entrepreneur. I mean, it's still full time. And when I say I'm an entrepreneur, I don't mean I have a side gig or I have a hustle. I mean, some people call it different things. When I say I'm an entrepreneur, I literally mean like full time. The only dedication I have are to my companies and to my businesses that I run on a day-to-day basis. I do not have a corporate job. Nothing against that at all, because we have people who work with us, who help us to achieve our mission. I mean, at the global scale, like the complement of people who work with our businesses span beyond 25 people altogether that contributes daily towards our goals and our objectives. And so when I say that I am an entrepreneur, I am truly telling you that I know nothing else, and I do know how to get things done take it from one level to the next. And when I started my first companies, I had nothing. Like I wasn't born out of a very sort of prominent or very wealthy situation. I was not at all. As a matter of fact, by many standards, I grew up poor. I grew up with nothing, but one thing that I valued was community and just kind of having support of people around me, and that determination to drive and to move things forward no matter what. Nothing was impossible for me. And so when I think about purpose, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like a thrust towards making a difference without any hurdle, without anything stopping you at all. Not that they're not going to be there, because hurdles are always going to be there. Problems are always going to be there. If you want to have problems, you do this kind of stuff that we do, and you'll realize how many problems that you'll wake up dealing with on a daily basis. But it doesn't stop us. I mean, we all have those things as inevitable intersections in our lives. But I think waking up with a purpose helps to continue and to be determined and to be resilient around where we're headed. And that's really what drives me in terms of purpose, what I do now. I mean, I have an 11-year-old company that I run. Purpusly is a new, if you may, it's a startup. But the fact that I've been in the game, this is not my first rodeo. So a lot of people probably sometimes think that this is my first thing. It is a difficult job to be an entrepreneur, and it is it's twice as difficult to handle more than one thing. And so you can imagine how much stress can be involving that. But the beauty is the purpose, is the end game. When you think about the end of that tunnel, or the light at the end of that tunnel, when you think about that silver lining behind any situation, it gives you hope, and it gives you that sort of determination to wake every day and go after it, and you just never stop. And that's just the beauty of entrepreneurship and purpose, if you ask me.
I totally agree, and I think that is the reason why I'm here. Also, we share, we have the same understanding of purposely and community, and how to see the light at the end and work for that. And it's very nice to be part of this purpose driven community. So I would like you to invite you to jump into Purpusly together and tell us why Purpusly, what is it about?
Well, when I thought about Purpusly and the idea of building a community that rallies around purpose and cause, I was in search for something similar. I was in search for something similar to be a part of, and I realized that this was not around. I have encountered thousands and countless amount of businesses and products during my entrepreneurial career. And trust me, I read a lot, and there's a lot of exposure that I've had, but I've seen where no one is really sort of helping to foster a community around a purpose-driven kind of lifestyle. And as I sort of looked into the future, I could see where our lives naturally is going to be built around purpose. I mean, you think about consciousness of what we eat, what we wear, where we go, how we live, and you see some of the trends that are happening out there. You will start realizing that the majority of us are going to question every single thing that we do around, is it impactful? Is it really achieving a purpose? And you look around you today and you see the magnitude of problems and challenges that we have, both environmentally and socially and economically. You will realize that at some point, somebody is going to want to stop in their tracks and say, what can I do to make a difference in our world? I mean, you look at the flooding that's taking place that has never taken place before, the lives that have been lost through those catastrophes. You look at the fires, you look at the pandemic situation, as if you want to call it a plague, you can call it that too. But you look at these different things that are happening, and some people will say, well, it's natural. The truth is, nature was not like this 50 years or 100 years ago. Society was not like this, and we have seen improvements. We have seen a lot of advancement, but we still run into these different issues where we have to begin to question ourselves, say, am I doing enough to really help my society to be better, my environment to be better? And so I think the more people have access to information, the more people are seeing these things that are happening, the more they're going to question themselves. And so there needs to be a community where they can go that essentially is their tribe. They can be a part of that tribe to say, well, this is awesome. If I can be a part of a community that lives and preach this on a daily basis, this is kind of where I'd like to take my life and my lifestyle. And that's really kind of what I thought about when I thought about Purpusly. We've come a long way. I mean, Purpusly before was an idea of culture, and it was sort of living purpose through culture and identifying the way people live across different cultures. And we had a platform at the time which was built around products of various countries called the Americas, if you may. And then we figured that there is really a deeper purpose to this, and we wanted to change that. And so we literally just kind of stopped and rethink what we're actually doing. And that's when Purpusly was born at 3 a.m. in the morning, just kind of sitting up, reading, and kind of thinking through what can this be. And I looked and realized that Purpusly is really it. And Purpusly could be a game changer for many lives that are out there who want to make a difference in their world. I mean, your world is where you are. Your world is where you spend most of your time. I mean, if that's your home, that's your community, it's your world. And so everybody wants to make an impact in their world, wants to make a difference. And creating Purpusly as a community to allow us to actually do that was really where the idea was birthed out of. And I went online, I looked for products that supported causes, I looked for products that drove specific impact. And it wasn't clear to me, like it wasn't made clear to me that this pair of shoes or this case of food, whatever it was that I was looking for, it was not made clear to me that it achieved any sort of purpose or it had any impact stapled to it as part of its DNA. And so I wanted to do something about that. And I said, well, maybe we can build a community of conscious consumer, a community of purpose-driven creators, a community of champion advocates. These are nonprofits who are advocating for these very same kind of impact and purpose. And now when I thought about it, I said, well, the opportunity to rally around a set of causes that are out there. When you look at what the United Nations is doing, and when you look at what SDG is doing and all of the other organizations, you realize that we all need to sort of rally around these, because this is really for our own good. And so that's really where Purpusly was born, out of that need to make a difference where that's concerned.
Wow. Well, you've talked about 3 different audiences, as we call them when we are in the meetings, in the team meetings. So let's repeat that to make it clear, because I think it's very important, and to tell and explain why you call some of this audience with a particular name. So the first one are the conscious consumers, right?
The first one is the conscious consumer, right? Seth Godin is one of the guys I follow and read a lot of his book. And if you haven't read any book from Seth Godin, you can Google him, and he writes a lot of books. One of the books that he wrote is about, finding your tribe, right? Kind of understanding where you belong in this world, what's your purpose. And Simon Sinek also talks a lot about starting with your why. And so we see that in the community as we're building it, the players, we see the players, each of the players need to have a role that revolves around purpose. And so you think about the creator. If you are creating a physical product that is revolved around a purposeful sort of impact-driven kind of lifestyle, that really is the role that a creator play in our community. And so you're welcome to be a part of this community as long as we can see the impact, as long as we can understand the purpose behind what you're creating, because that's what this community is about. So that's one of the player, if you may, the creator, which is an important role that a creator plays when a creator wakes up and say, I want to create this, and I want this to benefit these sets of people or these sets of things, whether it's environmental or social. I want to make an impact. That's beautiful, because most people, they don't start their day like that. And so when you have creators who are doing that, I think it should be celebrated. So creators like that are welcomed in our community, but you also have the conscious consumers. Conscious consumerism is on the rise. I mean, over 70% of consumers, at least here in the US and in other parts of the world, are saying, wait, before I purchase this and before I own this product or own this thing, what is it doing for my world? How is it benefiting my environment? How is it benefiting my society? What kind of good is it doing? And we realize that more people are asking for this, even at the POS, at the stations where they're making these exchange. More people are looking for opportunity to make a difference with their dollar. And so this is what we really call conscious consumerism, is just the thought behind every action that involves the exchange of money or the exchange of service. And so the idea here is that these guys, which are conscious consumers, they have to play a huge role in that community as well. Because if they're consuming, if they're using things, if they're living their lives daily and they're looking for products that support these same values that they care about, it only makes sense to connect them with creators who are doing the same thing. And so imagine a world where if women empowerment is your purpose, if living a poverty-free lifestyle is your purpose, or a hunger-free lifestyle or world is your purpose, imagine that you have folks who are out there who need to meet you, who need to know that this is what you are doing. And knowing that these are people who are waiting to get behind you and to support you and to say, hey, I feel the same way too. I feel the same way about homelessness. And it's amazing that you're creating something to benefit those people who are homeless. I feel the same way about empowering women. And so I want to get behind you because you are doing something to empower women where in your world. And women are women anywhere they are in the world. And we live in a global village. And so these roles are important. And the last role is the role of the champion. Now, we all know nonprofit plays a huge role in our world today. If it wasn't for nonprofit, a lot of us wouldn't really know what certain things are, you know, what hunger is, what it actually looks and feel like, what it is to be homeless, what it is to be abused. And nonprofits help to advocate for alleviating some of these challenges in our world. What it is to have climate challenges, you know, challenges in the ocean and challenges just on Earth, and, you know, forestry, deforestation, all of these different things. Nonprofits help to shine a light and create awareness. So we feel like they are important in the community. So we want to roll the red carpet out for the nonprofits because we think that the work that they're doing, they're not selling a product like the creators, right? And they may consume, so they may be conscious consumers as well, but they're advocating every single day, and we want to roll the red carpet out. So we have a cause wall that's dedicated to them that allows for them to showcase who they are, showcase what they are about, and literally just kind of demonstrate to the public that the conscious consumption community that, listen, we are here and we're here for the long haul. And until this issue is resolved, we will constantly be marching for the betterment of it or the eradication of it. And so this is really where we really want to honor the nonprofits who can say, listen, I want to be a part of this community with you guys, and I want to be marching along for a purpose-driven kind of lifestyle.
Wow. So Purposely, it's a purpose-driven ecosystem where I can find creators, I can find conscious consumers, I can find champions, which are the nonprofit. I can also find a global purpose-driven team. So I think this is a great example of what a system is, and a community, a purpose-driven community. I can see your experience of making that purpose-driven ice cream, or being a tutor and bringing on this, all mixed with your experience, your technological skills and everything. And you offer this generous site and multi-channel platform, which is called Purposely. So can you tell us what is there for the nonprofit? What do they have to do to be part of Purposely?
Yeah, I mean, so in honor of the nonprofits and the work that they do, and we want to, like I said before, sort of roll the red carpet out. So there's nothing that you have to do except to just make yourself available. For nonprofits, being a part of our community is at no cost at all, because we want to, it's our way of also impacting the space and impacting our community. We want to give the nonprofits an opportunity to shine and to showcase themselves. And so think of an idea where imagine you being in Argentina as a creator, making a beautiful product to support your community or support a part of your environment in your world. Imagine somewhere out there is a nonprofit that is also doing the same thing. The difference is that you guys have not met. Purposely is allowing that meeting to happen perhaps for the first time. And so we want to be able to give the nonprofits an opportunity free of charge to be able to be a part of our community, so that we can align them and connect them. Essentially, we call it cause matching. If you want to call it purpose matching, it's all the same thing. We call it matching because we want people to start connecting with each other. I mean, we have the technology to allow us to do that, and we don't see any reason why we are all rallying around a single cause and we don't necessarily know each other. And the fact that you are in one country and I'm in another should not, with technology, should not at least disallow that from happening. With technology, it should enable that. And that's what we want to be able to do, to be able to have access to other worlds, if you may, around the entire globe with the aid of technology. And that's what we're actually doing. So nonprofits, it's a red carpet affair for them. There's no cost to them. We only ask that they can prove that they are in fact a nonprofit that's registered and that's legally operating, and can demonstrate the impact. They can demonstrate visibly the things that they're actually doing as a nonprofit for their cause.
Great. What about the creators? So creators are the vendors, the ones that are producing. For example, we have Terra Dulce producing chocolate in Colombia. We have Bumblebee also producing nice chocolate with honey. Seimasha from Mexico producing honey. So these are just some examples people might find in Purposely Marketplace. Now you can go online and buy these excellent products, which are not just products, as Ricardo is explaining. They are full of purpose and following causes. So what if I'm from Argentina, for example, and I want to be a creator? I am a creator and I want to be a Purposely vendor.
Well, and that's great. I mean, we interchangeably use the word vendors and creators, and we mean the same thing. I think the mind of a creator is beautiful when he or she thinks about making an impact from day one with the creation of a product. And so we usually call it purpose-driven born. Sometimes there are conviction along the way because you may already have a product and you may realize that you're not associating any sort of impact with this product. And it's something that you can change. I mean, you can do something about it by starting from now, find a way to associate and connect that to an impact and make and mean it, because that's important. I mean, we know the thing called greenwash that's out there, that people would sort of do things because it's kind of a bandwagon situation, but you want to be meaningful in your approach to really making a difference in your world. But as a creator, creators can join our community from anywhere in the world, from with any products. I mean, the products that we are looking for are products that are essentially giftable and they're of a certain size too. And we will accept as many products, and we were opening up categories now to take any kind of product. But if you're a creator who's interested in this community, the most important thing right now is your story. It's not so much your product and the cost of your product. It's your story and what you are doing to impact your world. What's your purpose? What are the things that you support? And can you demonstrate those? Can you show it to us? Because we want to be able to tell the story, and we want to also capture you doing the story. And so, as we call it storytelling and story doing, we want to be able to do that story living as well, right? Which is how you live every day as a creator, as you in your facility, as you're producing products, however you're doing it. Can we show the conscious community around sort of why you're actually doing it? So that's super important. So you have to have that. If you don't have that, we can still help you to create that. But that's an important part of Purpusly's DNA. We don't just sell products, we sell purpose. And so we want you to actually have that before getting admitted in our community. It's an exclusive community, I have to say. It's not for everybody. It's only for those people who are living their lives around purpose and can demonstrate that through their storytelling and their story doing, right? And then you can be a part of our community. I mean, we will, onboard you, we'll take your products. We actually have 3 distribution channels that we're working on as we tell your story on a marketplace where we'll aggregate the different products and showcase you as a creator, again, telling your story and also showing your story as you live your story, right? You realize that story is so powerful because it aligns with purpose. It's the one way that people will understand your how and your why, right? And so we will basically help you to distribute those messages and those products through those channels. We're building three amazing channels: the online marketplace, we're building a VIP box. We do have a special group of people that are out there that they're literally kind of like overly conscious. And I use overly cautiously because this is kind of my goal as well. I'd love to be 100% conscious consumer, because there are mistakes and there are things that I do in my life that I wish I could correct. What I eat and what I wear and how I use things. And the goal is to be extremely conscious around all of these things. And we're all heading down a journey. We're all on a journey. And if that journey involves getting being 100% conscious, then we have a VIP box for the super conscious, as we call them, consumers who would love to introduce the products of our creators, but most importantly, our creators themselves and the mission that they're on, the purpose, because these folks, they love to hear and see a good storytelling situation. They love to see you doing the story, and they want to support what you're doing. They want to rally around. So we're building a VIP VIP box distribution channel to be able to understand what does a conscious consumer care about right now, and how can we match those causes that they care about with products that creators are making, and introduce you to introduce those products to those consumers. So that's the channel. And then we also have a pop-up shop network, which I think is probably perhaps the most beautiful piece of what we're actually doing, because we get to stand live in front of a customers, yeah, real time, face to face. And COVID has dampened that, but we haven't let up. We're not giving up because of COVID. I mean, COVID is a temporary situation, and we will certainly be on the other side. But when we get on the other side, we want to get back into the community, and we want to be able to meet these consumers who are looking for opportunities to support and to make a better world. I think we'll even come out with a stronger conscious consumer support after the pandemic, because the pandemic has made a lot of us realize that we need to do better ourselves in terms of how we live our lives, what we eat, how healthy we are. A lot of the folks who are surviving and will survive the pandemic is because of the way that they have really lived their lives previously in terms of their health and their consciousness around certain things. And God forbid, and my heart goes out to everyone who has really been impacted. But on the other side, we want to be able to do more pop-up shops, to be able to introduce products to consumers and allow them to have live engagement. And there's nothing more beautiful than seeing a conscious consumer just receiving and immersing into a story, understanding the root of the creation of your hands as a creator, trying the products, sampling it, taking a piece of it with them. It's nothing more beautiful than that. And we want to be able to do that as a network across different places. We did it before in pre-pandemic time, but we want to certainly do that in post-pandemic. And we're planning right now, we're planning to do some pop-ups. So you want to be able to kind of, stay tuned and, be a part of our community if you are interested in what we're doing, so you can be a part of the pop-up. And I think we're working towards a fall pop-up that's going to be in a city out in Georgia, because we've selected a city out in Georgia to do a pop-up, and we would like to have as many creators as possible from different parts of the world to be able to have that experience of getting your product introduced to conscious consumer. There's nothing more exciting than a new product. There's nothing more exciting than a new creation. There's nothing more fantastic and amazing than a new story that's coming from a new part of the world that you as a consumer has never been, maybe has never heard of. But you realize that there are people like us who are there, who are making a difference. And it's like, what better way to support them than to really rally around that? So that's really what we get excited about as we build a community.
That is great. I see there are so many opportunities for many players in this purpose-driven community. And I also would like to highlight that there are a lot of creators out there that I have the pleasure to talk with, and many of them doesn't even know they're following so many causes. Yes, so I think that is super noble from them, because some of them actually said, no, I don't want to tell that, it's okay, we do it, we will do it anyways, and we love to do it, and we love to donate part of our income or time, or just give scholarship to our team, or hire like women, and maybe it is women-owned companies, and buy cocoa from local productions without any interfaces in the middle, which make this trading a little bit complicated. So it's amazing to be part of this whole chain of really nice people around the globe, because they are everywhere. They are everywhere, and there are a lot. And that is what it's exclusive. It's an exclusive community, but there are a lot. And I really like to see the future in a very optimistic way. Sometimes it might feel idealist, right? but I think it is possible. And at the beginning of this session, you were speaking about floods, droughts, and nature. And I think we are already living the future. And when I was at school, we saw 2020 or 2021 as the real future, where we are now living that. And apart from being conscious, we have to be responsible and we have to take action. And I think Purpusely is a great opportunity to take action. And the way you describe the three different alternatives or audiences make it really generous, because anyone can be part of Purpusely if they really have the energy and well, if they really want to do it. So what can you tell us about the future you dream for Purpusely?
Well, I can certainly tell you that by nature or natural tendency is going to be living our life with impact, living our lives with purpose. That's going to be our natural reaction to life. I believe in the next, it's happening already, and we will see an increase in that. And so more questions are going to be asked about products that we're consuming. More questions are going to be asked around the things that we're wearing and the things that we're doing with the things that we have, essentially, where we live and how we live. More questions are going to be asked about those things. And as we work to finding those answers, a lot of awakening, a lot of realization is going to come to being. And so we're heading down a path where naturally this is the way that we're going to be living. And so don't be surprised if you see, even from a legislative standpoint with governments, that they're going to start charging people to live a certain way, or not forcing, but essentially creating rules and laws around the how we use our own environment and how we live our own lives, because we see that we're heading down a path that could be very destructive if we don't do something about it. And this is really what's going to awaken that consciousness that I talk about in terms of living. And Purposely will be there when that actually happens. We will be a part of that community, really sort of that tribe that really wants to live a very different kind of a lifestyle. And something amazing happens when you can put your money where your heart is. Something amazing happens as a consumer when you can see the impact of your dollar. And I think that's beautiful. And so there may not be money in the future, but whatever the exchange is, that's still the impact, and the beauty is still going to be there. And so we feel like with the emergence of certain technology, whether it's cryptocurrency, whether it's artificial intelligence, however it is, or ability to drive impact will still be around in the next 20 years. So we're excited because this ecosystem that we're building, we believe that it's going to be a lot more easier for people to get on board and to be a part of what we're doing. And this is an opportunity for all of us to be a part of a movement that we can say to our own community, our own family, that it is because of the connections that was made through Purposely. It is because of the impact that we're able to demonstrate through Purposely that has changed the way we are living our lives, that has helped our community to be transformed, that has helped our own people, has helped you individually or me individually to live a better life. So I think the future is amazing. We just really have to continue to build our tribe, and we just really have to continue to rally around what's important for us if we want our children to enjoy this kind of opportunity in the future.
We might also enjoy it, not just through our future generations. Like, we are the future, we are there, we can make the differences, And I've learned a lot in entrepreneurship programs that it is better to do it than to make it perfect. And I've also learned in one of our team meetings, like Marquita from our Texas facility, she said, greatest attract greatest, right? That was her quote, and I loved it. And I also think that we can start with very small steps, but continuously doing small steps, like just around our square meters. And maybe the Jewish community can start by buying Seimasha honey for Rosh Hashanah, which is upcoming in a few days. And not just the Jewish community, like I can decide to buy this special honey for a special Jewish celebration, New Year. And I can also buy this honey or these honey and chocolate bonbons to Thanksgiving, for example. So a gift that maybe some time ago was just buying a, I don't know, $10 gift card anywhere. It can really be purpose driven and a different in our daily choices. Yes, I really believe in that. And that is also why I'm part of Purposely. You didn't ask why I'm part of Purposely, but I love to share it with the audience. So we are reaching the end. I think you've shared a lot with us. So thank you very much, Ricardo, for telling your story, to making this possible, to put your work, your heart, your soul, and energy every day, the 24 hours, as you told. And I think we have some creators in the audience. Maybe they want to ask something. Some of our teammates were there answering questions. I can see that they are already getting in touch. I don't know if anyone has a question. We are open to receive them.
And while we're taking the question, I'd like to say I'm really grateful for our team. You know, there's a lot of times when we have visions and we have ideas and we want to do things, and we are prevented from doing that just because it can't be done on our own, because we sometimes think that we can achieve it on our own. And Purposely is not an isolated idea. It's an inclusive idea. And without a team like you, like Sangram, like Meyerfeld, and all the others who may not be on this conversation, or advisors, everyone who really believe in what we're actually doing, you know, my gratitude and my heart is filled with gratitude for to all of you as well, because it couldn't happen on its own. And you are the one who makes it happen. And it tells me that your belief in a purpose-driven lifestyle is something that you want to see happen in our world. Listen, like, you know, we can find pretty much any of the products that we will carry and we will be carrying in the future. We can find droves of them out there. But like I said before, you know, we're not immune to carrying honey or chocolate. It's not just us who do that. What's the difference really is that heartfelt feeling, that feeling that you get when you understand the story that's behind this. It makes the chocolate even sweeter. It makes the honey more delicious. Like any of the things that we carry, there's a very huge difference. Something happens when you know that you're not just buying something because you can buy it. And this can happen anywhere. Like, you know, our conscious consumers can access things anywhere. Like you can access to product is not a problem today, but the opportunity to participate in an impact is really what makes you feel great. It makes you feel like you're doing something for your world. And that is really what we're about. We're not about selling products. And I don't want people to mistake what we're building. We're building a community that allows people to have this sort of heartfelt feeling, this feeling that we're all sort of desire. I mean, we're made for this, and we're just at purposely helping others to realize this kind of potential by building this environment.
Yes, and following that, I must say that maybe that's the reason why the onboarding process is a little bit longer than in any other platforms, maybe, because we really want to be in touch and know the story and be there for the creators. And we are trying to improve our processes every day. But this is not magic, and this is not a robot who's behind just checking the different items that you have to fill in a form. We really need to understand who's behind each chocolate bar or each honey or each other product. And just one question, it is not only food, right?
No, I mean, you know, so giftable items can be both edible and it can be otherwise. I mean, we're talking with other brands that have other things that are not food. So we welcome any product that we believe that could certainly be a part of our ecosystem, and it doesn't have to be food. You know, it's hard to tell you the list of what those are, but if you have a product that is non-edible, we can talk about it and we can see how best that actually fits into our community. But you know, purpose is not perfect, and purpose is also resilience, and purpose works to break down any barrier, you know, break any chain. And that's, if you understand purpose, that's what purpose is. Purpose is life. Purpose is us. Purpose is forging ahead and not seeing, you know, as an entrepreneur, my life is not a straight line. I go through life like a roller coaster. If you've ever been to a park and have that situation where you go rolling and coasting, you realize that that's life for all of us, and that's what purpose is. And so if you are if you are thinking about purpose as a imperfect opportunity to make a difference, you're welcome here. If you're thinking about purpose as an opportunity to, it doesn't have to be right the first time, but we're just not stopping, you're also welcome here, because again, purpose is not perfect. It is the continuous resilience and effort that really drives the impact. It really what it is. And I've watched construction workers in growing up, and I remember this particular story where the contractors are trying to hit this rock just so that they can construct a building there, and they just hit the rock. They just keep hitting the rock, and this is a hard rock. They hit the rock and they go for lunch, they come back and hit it, they go home and come the next day and hit it, and they keep doing that. The rock actually breaks. And so I look at purpose like that. No matter the struggle and the challenges that we will have, because we will have them, as long as we do not stop. A wheel that is stuck does not move. And so for us, as long as our wheels are moving, that's what excites me.
Well, that is brilliant. That is fabulous. I don't know. It's thank you for sharing your story, Ricardo. I think we are done for today's webinar. Thank you, everyone there behind the scenes. We are open to receive your questions. You can go online, purpusly.com. You can go to the cost wall if you're a nonprofit and apply for free. You can go to sell.purpusly.com if you're a creator. You can also follow us in our social media and meet conscious consumers. You can also see our partnership. That is a new thing we are also starting with, for example, Maria Ligori, which is a health coach and a conscious consumer. And well, we are there for you as a team full of purpose and on purpose. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank
See you
you.
next
Thank you for